friends, welcome to this YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how your 9 to 5 isn't your enemy to chasing your dream, and how you don't necessarily have to sacrifice your 9 to 5 to chase your dream, and how you can run both concurrently as individuals. Yes, there's always the notion that I need to quit my job, I need to go and chase my passion, I need to chase my dreams, but most times that isn't true, right? And I'm going to use myself as an example, but let's get into this video. I usually thought that maybe after I worked for a while, then I will quit my job and then focus on my business. That's not really true, and that is not especially how you want to go on about it, especially if it's your first time doing a business, especially if it's your first time taking up a venture, unless it's just traveling, right? Unless your dreams is to travel around the world, right? So you're not so worried about that. But if it's a business you want to start, if it's a venture that you haven't tried before, I would strongly not advise that you quit your job to chase your dreams. But it's an advice and you don't have to take it, right? Because it also depends on the type of dream that you are working on. Some people might need to, depending on the scale of your dream, depending on the scale of your vision, and depending on what you have seen about your dream, you might need to make those sacrifices, and it depends on you. But I'm just saying this as a risk-averse person out there, and as someone who has worked for a while and who believes that we should all transition across the value ladder, which is the first thing. I think I said this in my earlier video, which is the first thing. You exchange your skills and your time for money, then you now exchange your skills for money, and then you move up the ladder by building systems, right? So if you're in the phase of building system, you're thinking about it, how do I max out my time? You have 24 hours in a day. You're not working for the entire 24 hours. Yes, you need to rest, you need to catch up. You can still do all those things while building a business, and it could be a business, it could be a brand. It must not be a business. It could be a business that you are the one that markets for other brands, right? The first thing I'm going to talk about here is capital. Your 9 to 5 can fund your capital, and that's why sometimes they say that your salary is the poison they give you so that you don't chase your dream, because sometimes there's the dopamine, there's the expectation that's associated with the end of the month, and your dreams are a bit risky, and you're just wondering, do I leave this entire thing now and now go and start chasing a dream that I'm not sure when it's going to materialize, I'm not sure what's going to happen to it. This is one thing I tell you, your capital, you can decide to save up parts of your income and start working on your dreams, start working on the aspects of your dreams that don't require so much capital. When you save up from your 9 to 5, you invest it depending on the business. I'm using an example of business. If it's a products business and you want to say, maybe I need a website, maybe I need, even these days people don't start with website, they start with audience. I need to film, I need to buy a ring light. You can take out part of your income and start investing in that area of your life, and then after some time, when you build your audience, when you've blown, you can now quit your 9 to 5. The second thing I'm going to say is it's important to prioritize your time. After your 9 to 5, that 9 to 5 ends. It ends. There's a deadline for it to end, right? And you don't work Saturdays and Sundays, unless it depends on the type of job you're doing, right? What are you doing on your Saturdays and Sundays? Saturdays and Sundays has to be to plan for your dream, to do what you can do about your dream, to build your website. I used to start with this thing. I built my website over the weekend, right? I didn't know what to do about it. I was just like, I need to build a website for my business. What do I'm going to learn how to do it. I figured out about Shopify. I built it one page after the other, right? And I learned how to do it, right? Over the weekend. And it was not like I finished it in one weekend, but there was still the next weekend, right? Once it was Monday, that's fine. I couldn't work on it because I was tired. This is something I thought about myself, and I woke up. And I also want you to wake up when you think about it. Yes, unless you are in transit, right? Which is that after your 9 to 5, you now need to enter a transportation to get you home, right? And then you will be tired from that work. You will definitely be tired, and you will not have during your weekdays. But if you are working remotely, when your 9 to 5 ends, what are you going to do? Yes, stretch your leg, yes, take a few hours, but then once it's probably 8 to 9, you should start working on your dream, right? You are not going to waste all the weekdays, right? All the weekdays, all the weekends constitute a full amount of time you can spend working on your dream. The third thing I'm going to talk about is your work gives you access to skills, resources, network, things that you can transfer into your business. That's the beauty of working for people. You are not the one bearing the risk, especially if you're working for a business. Someone else bears the risk of the business. You're just working in an aspect of the business. You are going to learn about how businesses are run without you being the one taking the risk, so that when you go into your own business, you have learned how to do things, you have learned how to engage customers, you have learned how to engage stakeholders, you have learned how to pitch to funders, while you are just probably the IT guy and you are just sitting down watching the rest of the team do their thing, but you have learned these skills, right? Fourth thing I would say is build systems, right? We've talked about capital, we've talked about time, we've talked about skills that you can learn from your day job that you can transfer into your business. Number 4 is systems. Build systems. Example, for this YouTube, I'm batch creating this content, right? I'm not going to every day turn on my camera to film. There'll be days that I'm not even interested in doing that, right? But there will be days where I'll have this weekend, I say this weekend, I'll block out this weekend to think about ideas of what to film, how to frame it. I think about my titles, my description, I think about what to say, and then I don't film that weekend and I just leave it, and the next weekend I batch create the content, right? It's important, and it's important to have systems. Someone said it, I always use this clothes to film. I'm not thinking about clothes, right? So that's just something. Clothes in this color, black. I just use black background and I film my videos and I just go ahead. It's systems. You want to create systems. You want to create opportunities for you to maximize something, so you can be working your dreams on the side while keeping your 9 to 5. You maximize your time. If you leverage the capital that your 9 to 5 is going to get you, if you leverage the skills from your 9 to 5, and if you build good systems. The writer of Atomic Habits talks about it. You don't fall to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. If you build systems, right, it will help you maximize your goal. I hope this has helped you not to necessarily quit your job if you're thinking about it, but to think about what can you maximize about your life, right, that can help you chase your dream. See you in the next video. Thank you.